Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars and welcome to another PlayStation 4 review. Today's review is for Star Wars Republic Commando. Thank you very much to the publishers for providing me with a review code for this game. Now this game was initially released way back in 2005 and it's a game I do remember playing back in the day. I think I played it on an original Xbox if my memory serves. Now, following the recent trend over the last couple of years of classic Star Wars games getting re-releases, and that is the difference between a re-release and a remaster. This is not a remaster, it's essentially a re-release, updated for modern day consoles. So it doesn't get any graphical improvements and things like that, only like frame rate changes, and so the gameplay runs smooth and everything on modern consoles, but essentially it's the game you remember back in the day, back in 2005. Now not everybody will have played this game, so what kind of Star Wars game is this? Well, this Star Wars game essentially is a squad based first person shooter. And you are one of the Clone Wars. You're part of a specialist group of Clone Wars. There's 4 in your squad. You're the squad leader, and there's 3 other troopers in your squad, and you are specialists, and you go out and do the jobs that no one else can. This game has 3 missions, basically. The first one is Geonosis, the second one's based on a spaceship, so on and so forth. They're all like fairly familiar in the Star Wars universe, and everything will take you straight back to, you know, those prequel films in regards to all the visual things that you see and all the noises, all the you know, the blaster noises, things like that. It feels very authentic, and it feels very, very Star Wars. So you get 3 missions here, and the game will take you anywhere between 8 and 10 hours to complete, depending on how much of a completionist you are. The missions, that says 3 missions, they kind of split up, so you kind of go through each section of the mission and then you move on. You've got your autosave options, things like that, and it's a fairly challenging game depending on what kind of challenge you want. You can up the difficulty levels if you like, and make it as challenging as you want it to be. It's back in the day you could see this game being quite revolutionary, I suppose, in its squad based mechanics. Unfortunately today it feels very, very dated. The squad based mechanics are light at best, and by that I mean you can keep your finger on the X button and you've got 4 D-pad options. You can give them very basic orders like form up, secure the area, search and destroy, things like that. And there's other things you can do on the battlefield. You'll go into certain sections. You might be able to send one of your squad mates onto a turret. You will ask them to slice doors or set demolitions, things like that. So beyond that, though, you'll find yourself spending much of your time reviving your commandos, because they don't seem particularly useful and their AI isn't overly special, if I'm being honest. So that's something you can do on the battlefield. You can go up to your squad mates and you can revive them on the battlefield, and vice versa. They can do the same to you. If you get knocked down on the battlefield, you've got a certain amount of time for your squad mates to come and revive you, or you can issue an order when you go down for them to continue, basically with the orders that you've given them, or ask them to come and revive you, or at least one of them to come and revive you. So you'll find yourself, I mean, there's ammunition scattered all over the levels. You've got different weapons. You've got your blasters, you've got your sniper rifles, handguns, grenade launchers, all this kind of stuff, grenades to throw, and you will need those type of heavy weapons and like grenades and things like that for some of the heavier enemies that you'll come across, and you'll recognise the majority of them from certainly the Clone Wars and the Phantom Menace and things like that. So you'll make your way, like I say, you make your way through the missions with your squads, directing your squad to do certain things to progress through the missions, and it's basically rinse and repeat. It's just the environments will be slightly different. Sometimes you'll be on surfaces, on Geonosis, sometimes you'll be in ships, sometimes you'll be in like underground factories, that type of thing. And the game, you know, looks quite dated. I think that's fair to say. I mean, it's still looks pretty good. And like I say, it feels very authentic in Star Wars, in the Star Wars universe. And you've got all the music kicking in, you know, and it's a fairly competent first-person shooter. Now, I'm not an expert on first-person shooters, you know, I'm not a COD veteran or anything like that. But it does feel reasonably responsive to me, the weapons in this game, and it's certainly quite exciting to play at times as well. The game, unfortunately, is littered with a few bugs, and on one occasion I had to restart a level because I couldn't progress because one of my squad mates was stuck in the wall, so I couldn't progress to the next stage, so I had to like restart. Thankfully though, you do have autosave options, and there's checkpoints and things like that. They're quite generous in the game, so if anything happens like that to you while you're playing the game, anything you have to reload, you won't have to go back by far. So that's a relief, and it's only happened the once to me. Most of the times when I have died in the game and things like that, it's usually due to my mistakes, or the fact that you're left on your own because your squad mates have buggered off around the corner and they haven't come to help you. Like I said, the AI is not brilliant, and quite a few of the times your squad mates will go missing because they haven't followed you. Even if you give the form up order, sometimes they don't form up until you progress to the next stage, and it loads that next stage in, and then all your 3 squad mates are back with you. So I think your enjoyment of this game will depend on a number of things. If you're a fan of Star Wars, then there's quite a lot here for you to enjoy, and it's not an expensive game. I think it's priced at something like $14.99 in the UK, which I don't think is too bad, certainly for a Star Wars game. Yes, I know it's an old game, it's a 2005 game, but there's enough here for you to get enjoyment out of it. So if you're a Star Wars fan, there's stuff here for you to enjoy. If you like playing old retro style games, there's bits here for you to enjoy. It will give you a bit of a challenge, but it's not a game that is going to, well, put it this way, it took me, I think it was just under 9 hours to complete this game, and I'm not a veteran of first-person shooters by any stretch of the imagination. I just kind of plodded through, died a few times, restarted a few levels a few times when I died, and it worked okay. I mean, there's a number of occasions when you're not exactly 100% sure where you're going. It doesn't explain itself overly particularly well, but I think for what you're getting here, it's a reasonably buggy, but it does work well in the game in regards to it's quite smooth and the shooting works quite well. But there are some AI issues and there's a couple of bugs here and there. For what you get with this game, I think a 7 out of 10 is a fair score for this game. If you're a big fan of it back in the day, I don't think you'll be particularly disappointed. So yeah, that is my review for Star Wars Republic Commando, an old style Star Wars retro game that there were some fans of back in the day. So I hope you found this review useful. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Of course, I will be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.